Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Texans Probe. Today, we're back with Drew, of course. We're going to kind of discuss this Titans game. Very disappointing game. A lot went wrong in this game, but it's kind of the same team that we've seen all year, which is the frustrating part. I'm sure Drew will add to that, but the offense is just not really cutting it, and the defense wasn't very good in this game either, the first half especially. But I think at this point in the season, we can kind of just be honest with ourselves and say this team's not a contender. And they're not going to be a contender. They can improve a little bit down the stretch of the year. But unless they change offensive coordinator, which I don't think they're going to, there's nothing that's really going to change, I don't think. And not to say that it's all Slowick's fault, but that's the only thing that they could really change at this point that would make a big impact possibly. So, and I don't think they're going to make that. What do you have to add, Drew?
Yeah, I would say it's a team thing right now because basically there'll be some plays when it's not on Slowick, it's on the execution of the players. Then it's situational calls by Slowick on offense that don't make sense, like that 2nd and goal run from the 9-yard line. That was bad. There's other moments like that where, okay, you're attacking the tight end strengths with all weaknesses. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make
They did
sense.
that a lot. They did that a lot.
It did a lot. So that part doesn't make sense. And then you see the stuff with the blocking. And then you also see, parts where players are not being put in good spots. It's just a compounding kind of thing. So I am on the side of offensive coordinator change isn't really going to do anything right about now. And I also kind of agree with what people have said about why would Gerard get the job if he's the quarterback coach?
Yeah.
If your quarterback hasn't been playing well, you shouldn't necessarily give the job to the quarterback coach. It doesn't really seem fair to Slowick, and it doesn't really seem fair to really anyone else on the staff either. Come on. It really needs to just be a team thing. You need to look at what you're doing wrong and then kind of fix that. They're not really doing anything right either right now. It kind of seems not really doing anything right. So it's hard to build an offense off of right now because they don't really have anything they've executed super well.
No.
So it's kind of a tricky spot. If anything, what I would do, and this kind of is my thought process after the game, it was you need to just sit down with CJ Stroud and ask him what he does well or what he feels comfortable with right now, or how he envisions the offense looking, because what's going on right now is not how he envisions the offense looking.
No,
obviously. So I would just kind of talk to him because he looks really uncomfortable. He's not throwing with anticipation. His mental clock is all sped up. He's missing throws. It's just a bunch of not good. Is probably the best way to describe it right now. So I would start with CJ Stroud and just kind of talk to him, try to fix all of that first.
Mm-hmm. Because with Stroud, we know what Stroud is. He's made some mistakes recently, but I don't think anything that he's done in these last couple of games changes the way that I view him, or probably I don't know how you view him, but it's not changed anything about how I view the guy moving forward. I think this year might be a wash, which is unfortunate, but going forward, he's still a franchise quarterback. He still has that type of potential to be a top quarterback. It happens. It's frustrating, but even in this game, I posted some clips. Down the stretch of the game, there were some really impressive throws, but there's also just some layups that were missed. Like the one to Nico on 3rd down. You can't miss that throw. I don't know. Dan Orlowski made it sound like it was a miscommunication between them. To me, it just looked like he missed, which I usually side on the side of the quarterback, but that just to me looked like a miss. And that it's frustrating, but we can get into it. But I think people are the turnover thing to me is kind of people overreacting a little bit, just because turnover-worthy play rate is literally the exact same as last year. He just had really good luck last year, which is just what happens with quarterbacks. I mean, you have lucky years, you have unlucky years. It just happens. The problem to me is that now you're seeing him. It's like his internal clock is sped up.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, who can blame the guy, right? I'm not going to blame the guy for it. But his internal clock sped up, and he's not. He's looking down at the rush instead of looking downfield. Which again, I can't blame the guy for it. But it's clearly affecting him now. But like I said, we'll show some clips later on. there were some really impressive throws down the stretch that he made where you're like, yeah, that's the quarterback that you've seen. And even in the first half, outside of the 2 picks, really outside of the 2 picks, this is the best game he's played in like 2 months. But the picks just can't happen. The one to Mechie, okay, and maybe you disagree with me on this. I don't understand the thought process of running sit routes with 45 seconds and 1 timeout. What's the accomplishment?
I mean, everyone knows the Hank concept is just kind of from an outside perspective doesn't really ever seem good. Doesn't really seem good in that scenario.
Yeah,
you should really be trying to get your playmakers in space. You should be running out routes, get to the sideline too.
Because the thing is that so like because to me, I think the reason Stroud throws the ball upfield is like, what the hell is a 6-yard sit going to do for you? And granted, Mechie sitting was the right decision in that play. He made the right decision, but also throwing the sit doesn't do anything for you. You're just going to take it to half. If that's the accomplishment, like let's just run the ball, right? Like, and that's why let's just run it and take it to half if you want to take it to half. Because like if we throw a 6-yard completion, it's 3rd and 4. Are we calling timeout? I don't think so. Tennessee probably calls timeout, right? At that point. So I don't understand what the accomplishment is there. I don't get the play sequence there really at all. But
the thing about Stroud, I'll say, is like, yeah, you're right. We know what he's capable of, but what's going to happen is that 2024 Stroud was just simply not a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Because it's about consistency. Now, I will say we've seen this around the league is sometimes quarterbacks become inconsistent and then they get comfortable the next season and the season after that. So it's not necessarily about stunting development.
No.
It was like Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, lots of quarterbacks. I remember how young C.J. Stroud is.
Yeah, well, and even if you want to talk
Anthony
about
Richardson,
we're watching Justin Herbert now. Not necessarily that he had a bad last couple of years, but it wasn't like blowing you off the charts. And even this year, he's not really. He's making really impressive throws, but statistically, he's not blowing you away with what he's doing. Joe Burrow was rough last year when he was playing through injury, right? Like
quarterbacks get better after.
Mahomes is having a bad year right now, right? Like this is not. And Lamar had a couple of years where you're like, what the hell's going on? Like it just happens. Situation can get worse, stuff can get worse. But like you said, we've talked about it. Stroud through the first 5 weeks was really good. He's had some good games in this stretch. I thought he was good against Indy in week 8. I thought he was decent last week. Obviously the turnovers can't happen. He made some really good throws. I thought against Dallas he was okay. But as a whole, you can't have this many bad games, no matter what the situation is, and be called an elite quarterback. You could say he was decent, which I think would be true. I think he's been a decent quarterback, but
I don't even think he thinks he's been decent, honestly.
I think he's been decent, but I think when you're comparing it to the standards that we set for him or he sets for himself, it's not decent. That's why
he talks in the press conference like he is probably feeling miserable right about now, and I don't blame him. And so, that's why I said like the offense needs to just start with him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then the run game, which I have some clips of, and I think you have some clips of too, and we can look up other ones. The Titans, I'll just say it now. They exploited the Texans, and if every single NFL team does what the Titans did, and the Texans continue to run the ball with the same wide zone concepts, they won't get more than 50 yards rushing a game. Because the Texans and really just Joe Mixon cut it back more than any team I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Because they don't get enough push. They don't get enough push upfield. And I kind of feel like it's just a personnel thing at this point. I don't think they have enough dog in them. I don't think they have enough initial strength to get enough push up field, which is why you have to cut it back. And then if you can't cut it back because of that, strategy in the defense, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do the rest of the year?
It was really bizarre to me when DJ Bieniemy was he tweeted about how the Texans missed Kenyon Green in the run game. That's not what's going on.
It's also not true at all because Kenyon Green has some really bad moments.
Yeah, he was not a good run blocker. What's happening now is teams, like you said, they're just like we're just gonna play the cutback because it doesn't matter what the hell we do on this side, especially when you're Tennessee and you have Texans are just gonna run straight at Jeffrey Simmons. Like, well, you're going to let that happen. Just don't let them cut back. What are you going to do?
There's nothing else any team has to do against the Texans other than preventing the cutback. I mean, it's really sad, but it's as simple as that. They're not mixing it up. And then also, like, if the thing about that is, like, you can do it on tosses, you can do it on zones, and then if they run dive, they're just crazy for even trying to run dive because they can't get enough push. So they were doing it against all those concepts, and they even tried to run trap, and then Sweat, just freaking absorb all of the contact, and no one's able to get to the second level. And it's just, how many carries did the Texans have against the Titans? I don't even know.
Mixon had 14, from what I remember.
That makes me feel a little bit better. At least he wasn't forcing the run.
Yeah, there was just some really bad run calls down the stretch of the game that were frustrating, like the 2nd and 9 run.
Especially when you can't run the ball all game. Like that. Yeah. Doesn't really make much sense to me.
But honestly, my biggest – I still don't really understand the idea that – I don't think out of those 14 carries, I don't think they ran it out of gun once. I think all of them, you're going under center.
They don't have push to run it out of gun, I don't think.
Yeah. I just know statistically they're actually one of the better teams at running out of gun. They just never do it. So, I mean –
well, it wouldn't work against Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. I will present this real quick because really the only solution. I'm gonna figure out how to share my screen if I can.
Okay, yeah. We're on a new recording thing here, so we're trying this out.
Can you see this, Jacob? Can you see this?
I can.
Okay, so the Texans run a lot of zone, as we know, but what I was thinking, if I'm Bobby Slowick, I'm gonna go back to duo, and when the Texans ran duo last year with Devin Singletary, it was actually very effective. It basically, if you just focus on, there's a couple concepts to go over. You can have just 2 double teams. So against the Titans, the 4-man front, you can double team Sweat, you can double team Simmons, and then obviously if you get the timing right to then go to the second level. Yes, I understand that Sweat's a big guy and is a good run stopper, but look, if they work together, 2 versus 1 should always work. So if you have 2 versus 1s, it's always going to give you a better chance, and then you can eventually consistently get 3 to 4 yards, open up the offense. I think that's kind of the stuff they really needed to try to do. Other than zone and toss, and I just think that there's really nothing else. What else could have worked? I mean, I think that there's really nothing.
One of their better runs was interesting to me because we've kind of touched on this, that they don't ask Titus Howard to do a lot in the run game. But one of these ones, they had him pull around to kind of block Simmons. I don't know what the concept is. I don't know run concepts like that. But he pulls around to block Simmons. Actually, one of the better run plays that they've had because he actually kind of won the rep against Simmons. Here, actually, if you can go.
I was gonna say just real quick, another thing they could do if they want to keep Dalton Schultz on the field, they could have him double team a guy every single time with Titus Howard, like this concept right here, and double team with Jarrett Patterson, who I trust a lot more than Juice Scruggs, to double team from the outside, from the inside, Mason on the outside, Titus on the inside, Schultz on the outside, and then Scruggs, since Scruggs has been struggling, would just kind of be the wall-off guy. All he has to do is get upfield and kind of make sure that the other 3 technique doesn't get across face, and it should be pretty easy because he'll have leverage as well. So stuff like that really should be what the Texans could go to because like I said, if teams do what the Titans did every single game, it's not going to work, and that kills the offense too. That kills the offense more than bad pass protection or CJ not playing with anticipation. If you can't run the ball, you can't do anything. Everyone should know that. And then that's just sad part about this, Jacob, is that this is just one of the problems with the Texans offense. One, they have so many problems.
Yep. All right. Here, I'm going to share my screen. What should we go and do first? You want to go mailbox, or do we go into some film?
We're going to some
film. Okay. Let's go into I know you posted some film too. We'll get into definitely go into both. All right, we'll start. We'll just start from the first. This is my most recent one, but okay. This. Oh god, this pissed me off when I watched it. This pissed me off when I watched it back the second time. This pissed me off when I watched it again. This is just so bad. Like I don't know if I should blame Shaq Mason or if I should blame the play design, but this is just really bad. So the idea is you want Mixon's kind of eye candy. I think I debated with somebody in the replies that he thought it was an RPO. To me, it doesn't look like an RPO. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like to me it's just
You're right.
Like
You're
I don't
right.
think that's okay. Wait, I didn't mean to do that. I don't think that's an RPO.
It's not an RPO. I've never seen an RPO like that in my life.
I know that they do those jet touch passes type thing, but to me,
it
doesn't seem like
the jet action.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like to me it doesn't seem like the handoff's ever an option. But what happens is that you get what really frustrates me is that this is Ali Gay. He was on the Texans in the preseason. He knows your concepts, so he's not it's pretty easy for him to just go. He's not gonna he doesn't fall for the fake touch pass because honestly, why would he? Either way, if they give it to Mixon, there's two guys out here with the receivers blocking. They're probably gonna be able to make a play, but he just screams in. There's no game plan. Well, first of all, I don't know what the hell Mason's doing. Mason can't pull block. This has been a known thing, so I don't know why he's pull blocking.
Is that Mason's objective is to pull to the edge, but he's still looking inside. What are you looking at? Go.
He even last year when he was decent, he's never been a good pull blocker. So I don't know what the game plan is here. It's almost like you should have Stover come chip or even Mixon chip, because the game plan can't be we just have to pray that Mason gets there, because there's no shot that he's going to get here. He's just too slow. There's no way he can get there, and it's a free sack on 2nd and 9 because also you ran the ball on first down for 1 yard. Yeah, that was really frustrating to me.
That's the definition of a play that you do and you throw it out.
This should never be run again. Yeah.
I mean, you can tell Shaq Mason whatever you want after the game, but at the same time, you shouldn't trust him. I'm sorry.
No.
He
especially
can
as a pull
apologize all he want and try to fix his technique all you want, but you just don't call it again. I'm sorry, Shaq. You messed up and you allowed a sack.
Okay, and this is 2nd down, the last drive of the game. This is so frustrating to me again. Because so Juice gets beat, but I have a bigger issue with the idea. Okay, I want to pause it at this point.
The big problem is that you don't double team the guy who's not a pass rusher. He's a glorified run stopper. He did get a sack against the Texans, but he's not a threat. He's not a pass rushing threat. No. And then you leave the pass rushing threat, an elite defensive tackle who proved to be elite, obviously, to be one-on-one.
And then Mason kind of comes over here to help Titus, okay? Which, to me, I just can't understand it, because all you have to do is just tell Schultz, chip, and we're going to slide this way. That seems like a much easier solution. You double team Simmons, you leave Mason one-on-one with Sweat, and then you just chip over here. That would be much simpler. And then Dare can chip over here too. That seems so much simpler than asking Juice, who we've talked. Juice has been bad, and you're asking him to block one-on-one, and he just completely gets beat. I mean, nobody else even gets near touching Stroud, but it's such an easy sack that that's a great pocket outside of the one-on-one matchup.
Exactly.
But there's no reason for two guys to be here. Why are there two guys over on this side? We need help over here. And then, like I said, all you have to do is just tell Schultz, just chip him, right here. Just get a chip in. Which doesn't happen.
Look at how bad Sweat is as a pass rusher. Look how high.
Yeah, he doesn't even make a move. He just stands
can't get
there.
Upfield with his speed and his frame. He's got high pad level. He's not a threat. He's not a threat whatsoever. And this is another thing is I'd love to be a fly on the wall. At the same time, I'd love for the media to really ask Slowick or someone about that. Why is he getting one-on-one? It's a simple question. It's not even being mean.
No.
It's you're genuinely trying to wonder why the best player on the Titans roster is getting a one-on-one opportunity against your objectively, or you could even just say guy transitioning to a different position. You don't have to be mean to Juice Scruggs whatsoever. Just ask,
Yeah.
why is he being put in this spot as one of the
Especially
guys with a
when
low
you
pass
have
rush
7
rate
guys in the backfield.
being double teamed?
You have 7 guys in the backfield. Like, there's no reason that you should be leaving Simmons one-on-one at that point. It just doesn't make any sense. There's not even a threat that a blitz is coming here. You know 4. You see 4. You know 4 is coming. So there's no reason for it. It just doesn't make any sense. Because, and this is what I was debating with people yesterday. I think it was actually it may have been in these replies. Hold on. Yeah. So I was debating this because
Technique is poop. He's not wrong.
which he's not wrong about that. I agree with that. But I get like people want to defend Slowick, and that's okay, right? Like if you think Bobby Slowick's good, then I can understand that. But in this thing, like this is a protection call. The protection call comes from, unless I'm wrong, I'm fairly confident that comes from the play call itself. I know Patterson can change it, but I just don't understand the logic of leaving him one-on-one. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I would only reason probably why is because it's to the weak side. If you're a strong right, you're gonna potentially leave the left side like that.
Yeah,
potentially.
it's just.
But you have to game. It's the NFL. You have to game plan against superstars. That's the other thing. It's fine to do that against. I don't know, Khalil Davis. Something.
Whoa.
I know. But when you go up against Simmons or Buckner, you have to game plan against them. So, and then this is the trap, or what do I don't know which one? Oh, fourth quarter runs.
This is trap. I'm pretty sure, but I was actually impressed. Titus does a good job here. This is one of the better reps. Even probably could be a hold. Yeah.
You don't call
but
that.
Like, again, what is Shaq Mason doing?
Well,
what is he doing? He's like he's like falling off of Simmons and then whiffs. Because this is actually blocked well outside of that. It's not great, but like Juice does a decent job. You get a double team up here. Schultz is doing a decent job, but Mason doesn't even touch him. These are the fourth, if you can't see it at the top. This is the 4 runs that Joe Mixon had in the fourth quarter of this game. Because I was not trying to post every run because that'd be really infuriating to see every run where we're whiffing nonstop. But so these are just the ones in the fourth quarter. This one was so bad. Oh my god. So you get whiff here. Again, you're ducking your head. How many times have we talked about that? You duck your head. Doesn't go well. And then Juice I guess it's a cutback maybe that kind of screws Juice over here. You mixing cuts. Well, the problem is
the problem here, it looks like
it's Nico
is being that plays on Nico Collins.
Yeah. Because Juice is set up for the run to go this way. And then once the linebacker comes in this way, Juice doesn't stand a chance. But yeah, this is on Nico, which very, very unusual because Nico's a very good run blocker. It's just I
haven't seen Nico really make many mistakes as a run blocker. I mean, maybe you're gonna have to, again, get a little situational. You might have to put Robert Woods specifically in this situation.
He's kind of too choppy coming out of this.
Yeah, you just gotta go. You just gotta go and make contact. Also, really, it's something the Texans could just try to gear away from. Like a new concept would just be get the guard to the second level.
Yeah.
Just go block that linebacker and get your 3 to 4 yards. Obviously probably a 6-7 plus. If you make him miss or whatever, but at least 6-7 yards if you hit that hole with a Nico block. I get that. But look, a team like the Lions, they're just going to beat you down with runs that get quality yards. And that's something the Texans, they don't ever try to just get quality yards in terms of the pass game or the run game. That's an adjustment that I think should be made, but it ain't gonna happen.
The early down passing game is horrible too. Like, it's not just the early down run game. They're just a really bad early down run team. Actually, like we said, Stroud struggled recently, but the only reason that their offense actually moves the ball for a lot of the time is that he's very good on third downs. They have one of the better EPA per plays on third down, even though they're at like the second worst depth on third down. I mean, actually, if you look at it, him and Geno have very similar type seasons, which makes a lot of sense when you watch both of the offensive line play.
Pretty similar players at this point, yeah.
Yeah, which honestly is not a bad thing. I actually think Geno's a really good quarterback. So, I mean, granted, like I do think Stroud's better, but Geno is a very good quarterback. But you can see when you watch the offenses, honestly, the biggest difference is that Seattle's not afraid to just air it out when they can't run the ball, where like the Texans are pretty afraid to do it. Their offensive coordinator, he was the guy at Washington last year, I believe. Like, he's going to throw that. He threw it, like 60 times against Detroit early in the season, or 50 times. Yeah. Like, they're not afraid to just air it out if they can't run the ball, which, like I said, the Texans will do it.
That's a good point that you make, because that's one thing that I really believe that you might start seeing a lot more college offense in the NFL soon because of Cliff, because of Grubb.
I think honestly, like we'll see coming into next year. I've watched some Seahawks games this year because I do have friends that are Seahawks fans. I like Geno, so I end up watching them.
Yeah, I mean, they play in the later window and they get to see a lot of that.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks offense a lot. Like, you look at it, they're just not. Like, up front, their offensive line is brutal. Like, the Texans' offensive line is really bad. The difference with them is that their tackle play, especially their right tackle, has been awful because George Fant got hurt, their other starter got hurt, and their third string was just getting beat nonstop. But if you want to, I actually do have this because you can track the pressure stats. But I want to say when you go like actually by dropbacks, number 1 is Stroud in pressure, and then number 2 is Geno. So they've played similar level of quarterback. They've both been pretty similar. Here we go. So dropbacks that are your pressure. So you get 179 for Stroud and 177 for Geno. Same percentage, same exact percentage. And I mean, the difference is that Geno's throwing 10 picks under pressure, which not great, but he's also gotten pretty unlucky. But like overall, pretty similar, like yards per attempt, very similar.
So the TWP, is that turnover worthy throws?
Yeah. Stroud's been
much
good
better
under pressure
than most quarterbacks.
He's actually number 1. He's actually the best.
Yeah, I was gonna say
play right under pressure.
That might be my favorite PFF statistic you've ever shown me. I think right that is there.
And then if you want to go big time throws under pressure, he's number 3. He's been really good under pressure. Like, I know, and look, he's not been good recently, but these numbers still stand out. And if you want to go drop rate, he's where are you? Number 7. Total drops, he's tied for first. Like, the situation is brutal on a lot of different levels. And he's trying to make up for it, but now you're just seeing the play affect him mentally. Like, you're seeing he's looking down at the rush. He's not throwing with as much anticipation. He did it a couple of times in this game, but overall, it's not near the same level as it was early in the season, or even last year too. It's just a broken offense, and I think Stroud's going to be perfectly fine moving forward, but this year is going to go down as a disappointment for him. Not necessarily, I don't think it's a lot of his fault, but it will. It's going to go down as that, which it sucks, but that's just the reality of it. And
partially his fault.
Yeah, it's not. No, for sure. It's not all his fault, but there's definitely some fault in it. I mean, he's not playing as well as he was, and it's understandable because the pass rush has been brutal, but he's just not playing as well. And I think he's improved in certain areas, which is the funny part. I think he's gotten a lot better at playing out of structure, but I think he's also got. I think accuracy's regressed a little bit. I think you're seeing. I think the overall field reading has progressed a little bit, which I think
that's
kind
my
of comes.
biggest concern.
Yeah, which comes with the pass rush. You have to get him. The hardest part that you're gonna see down the stretch of this year, and even moving forward, is he has to trust the offensive line in front of him, because you can see it right now. He doesn't trust the offensive line. The clip that you posted, which actually
let's go to that one right now. That's actually, I was just gonna say that because that's a really good example of, I think, quarterbacks that are comfortable would have thrown this ball with anticipation.
Yeah. And I think I put it in the replies. Dan Orlowski was talking about the timing of it, which I don't really see the timing issue necessarily. I think it's just an internal clock problem. Hold on.
Now, I understand why he checked it down, because there was obviously – are you able to minimize that screen?
Yeah, here. I can just close it. There we go. That works. Yeah, I couldn't tell if you could see that too, so – okay. No, I couldn't. I had no idea if that was able to be seen or not. I was just
okay. So this is a really good, fun, deep play action Yankee concept that the Texans ran last year out of different formations, and you're going to see Tank Dell run a really nice route. He's going to attack outside, jab inside, explode, stem in, going to get guys to run into each other. That's great. That's beautiful. But look. CJ just kind of is like, oh, time's up. Throw it now. Throw it with anticipation now. Before that, right there.
Yeah.
You can throw it right there.
Right here. And so if this is last year, I think you see this ball thrown right now into this area.
Because with the way the DB's standing with that outside
there's just no way. The only way that would be incomplete is if the receivers run into each other, right? That would be the only way. Yeah. Or something weird like Tank slips or he drops it, which at this point in the season wouldn't shock me. But I mean,
the guy inside of Tank is in a bind.
Clock issue.
The guy trailing Tank is not going to be able to play any of the routes. Like, you should know with the leverage that you're chilling, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, and
you see,
this ball needs to be thrown. And I think we talked about it. This is an internal clock problem more than anything. It's just him with the pass rush that has happened this year, just not wanting to hold on to the ball. And honestly, this is not. I talked about this earlier in the season. I think it's better now that he's hitting his checkdowns more than he did earlier. Like, don't take stupid sacks. And granted, in this one, he should throw this ball. But I don't necessarily have an issue with throwing the check down here. The biggest issue is that what the hell is going on with the check down? I mean, this should be at least a couple yard gain and set yourself up for third and manageable. But I don't know if it's on Mixon or if it's on Schultz. But I mean, that shouldn't happen. You have a blocker you have a tight end out there to block your corner. So I don't know if Mixon's out too wide or if Schultz isn't wide enough.
Yeah, that was one of my thoughts, because what we have seen recently is a lot of teams running what we call lead swing, basically where you're gonna have the swing or an arrow from running back, but you're also gonna have a lead blocker out there. But as you can see, Schultz can't get to either of those guys.
No.
So I would now. I'm watching a clip of this right now, on Twitter. The lead blocker is usually out wider than the running back, so the running back should be trailing the lead blocker. And as you can see, Mixon is wider than the guy who's supposed to be wider. So I'm not, of course, I don't know who that's on. I would say Mixon's a little bit too wide, but also Schultz could have gone wider initially. So it's a little tricky there. But look at the space. Look, if you get the engagement of that block and then Mixon makes that guy miss, that's 30 yards. Look, that's a great play design. But
that's a really good play design.
Or maybe Slowick forgot a detail. But that play is a great definition of that's on everyone. That's a team play that went wrong. And then, like I said in that clip, I see a lot of pat and go from the offensive line. They're not holding up with anything. Juice is leaning. I think he eventually ducks his head too. And then no one else can hold up for long enough. So it's just a complete team failure on that play. And this was early in the game. You can say it doesn't matter, but I think it does matter.
No, it does matter. And honestly, this whole when you talk about the pat and go, that's part of that's why Stroud's getting to the check down, right? If the offensive line protected better this season, this ball's probably thrown here. But you get these pat and goes. I mean, really, and granted, I think the ball should already be out, but Simmons is probably coming in and hitting Stroud if this ball's down here, right? Because you're turning your body the other way. And there's just too much of who's Jared Patterson blocking here? I know it's late in the play, but it's just bad.
Yeah, he gets ran around. Yeah.
It's just bad. And I like Jared Patterson, but it's just bad. All right, let's go back.
He's going to be a finesse guy, but
yeah.
Other guys, I need them to have a little bit more power, a little bit more grit. They're just not guys I would imagine that I would want protecting my quarterback.
So here, these were some of the throws down the stretch. This one on TV,
that was a drive opener, I believe. Opener.
This one on TV looked like it should have been picked, but to me, when I'm watching it from this angle, it looks more like a good throw than a ball that should have been picked. And I mean, the corner kind of. I think this is honestly. I think the reason that this ball isn't picked is because I think it's thrown with pretty good anticipation. You get it outside quickly, and the corner can't really. It's a good route by Tank, and it's. And
by the way, Tank. Great route runner. We saw it.
He is a really good route runner. Yeah, I have questions about his hands because he has had drop problems this year. And even though that won the third down play, probably wasn't really
which arc he's taking that. He's taking the Darnell Mooney arc, and I love Darnell Mooney. So
Darnell Mooney's a really good player. That was actually one of the comps that I had for him coming out. Which, so honestly, I'm not frustrated. I am a little bit frustrated with Tank because there's some really bad drops that he's had this year. But overall, he's a good player. You know what he is. He's a good player. And this, like I said, this ball on TV looked like it probably should have been picked. When you watch it from this angle, I think it's just more of a really good throw. And really good pocket movement.
I saw it in person. It was tight window. That was good stuff.
Yeah, and this is good pocket movement from Stroud, too. You step up in this pocket. It's a good pocket, too. Good protection overall.
And for that to be in the fourth quarter is important. You can build off of some of that, obviously. Yeah.
I thought the fourth quarter of this game was really good for Stroud. He made some really awesome throws. We'll get into it. I have 4 clips here of awesome throws that he made. This throw was pretty ridiculous. He was trying to fit these balls into some tight windows. And this ball, I mean, it's a risky throw, but you couldn't throw it any better. I mean, this hits Mechie.
Great play by the DB.
Yeah, it's a really good play. But this is also a catchable ball from what I see. I don't think – does he bat it? I don't think he bats it.
He bats it.
He does?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he does.
Classic outside arm on the shoulder, inside arm, plays the ball.
Good play. But, yeah, so that's still pretty – you couldn't throw that ball any better than that. It's just a really good play, like you said. The Titans DB surprised me. They made some really good plays. Brownlee made a couple really awesome plays. Then this one, this was throwing Nico on the sideline. This is what I was talking about. Just when you talk about playing out of structure,
again,
he's gotten better at playing out of structure this year for sure. Him playing out of structure has bailed the offense out a lot because from what I remember, this is like a 2nd and 10 because they ran the ball on first down for no yards. Yeah, common Texans occurrence, but also, is it okay? Look, I don't want to dunk on Shaq Mason too much, but man, that's a linebacker. How are you getting pushed back like this?
We're also getting a chip to Tunsil's side, which is supposed to be your blind side, too. So I have a little bit of an issue with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like
the
to me.
protection scheme needs consulting. Maybe.
Oh, it does. Yeah, because okay, let's slow this one down a little bit. Because like you said, I don't hate the chips coming. To me, it seems like he's think so. If this guy comes, Schultz is going to block him, right?
Sure.
Kind of, and then he just chips Tunsil's guy. I'd almost rather him at that point just go out for the route than chip.
Yeah.
Be an option like a check down there. But honestly, the bigger issue is Mason, how are you getting pushed back like that It's a linebacker, man.
Well, I mean, look again. This is the same problem that Kenyon Green had. Is look how wide his hands are. What are you hugging him? What are you gonna do when you try to hug him? And then his feet are so wide. I mean, he's about to do jumping jacks from that set. How wide his feet are. I mean, you're gonna get knocked back. You're gonna fall down. Like if you've ever done jumping jacks,
that's a good still frame right there.
When you're doing your jumping, you're too loose. Of course, you're gonna fall down. If your feet are that wide. I mean, all that guy had to do. I mean, a cornerback. Steven Nelson could have came at Shaq Mason. And he would have fell over because of how he was aligned. You cannot have that technique, especially when you're a veteran. You can't have that.
There is too many examples of Shaq Mason not just being bad, but just doing really dumb things for a guy that's played in the league for like 10 years. I can understand the, losing some power, losing some finesse, but like the sweat that Sweat had, how are you're double teaming? How do you lose the outside when you're the outside double team? It just doesn't make any sense. Like it's just,
all right. Your job is that simple and you just forgot. I don't know. Like what is it?
I have a bigger, and they've both not been great. I still have a bigger issue with him than I do with Juice Scruggs. Juice Scruggs is just like, I don't know. He's playing as a guy who I still think he's more of a center, but he's playing left guard. The things that Shaq Mason does are just dumb. Like you're getting paid this amount of money. I know you're older, but the things that he's doing are not just like bad. It's not bad, like not being washed. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Amen.
It's just, like this is like like you're not gonna block anybody doing this. I could go in there and push him a little bit if you stand like this. And then this one, this is a really good throw too.
Dalton Schultz production too. Nice to see.
But see, this is what I'm talking about, right? You gotta get it's a good pocket.
That's how it's supposed to look, really.
And you can see the difference. You can see the difference when there's a clean pocket. The rhythm, even in the fourth quarter, you can see the rhythm is just there when there's a clean pocket. And even this whole game, the rhythm was better when there's a clean pocket, right? You get into your drop, boom, right? Set your feet, perfect throw, right? And that's the type of stuff that we saw all last year and at the beginning of this year. But if you don't protect, there's just not much that you can do as a quarterback, like consistently, right? There's just no rhythm to your offense if you can't protect consistently or you can't run the ball consistently. That's what, to me, made Stroud's rookie year so impressive is that for a lot of it, they couldn't run the ball well, and he was kind of bailing them out. And he was able to bail them out early in this year when the pass protection wasn't awful. But when you can't run the ball and the pass protection is not good, it's hard to bail them out consistently. You see him bail out certain times, but it's just hard to do it consistently.
No.
Obviously, like I said, he needs to be better, but I think it's just a situation.
Can we look at the interception that he threw on the misplay to Nico?
I got you. Did you post that one? Or
I did not post that one.
Okay, here, let's go find it then, because I didn't post it either.
Because that is a good example of the inconsistency.
Yeah, it's just a bad throw.
It's just right. Simply a bad throw, especially on a play that would have been a very big play. A very big play.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I think people kind of forget on this play there was a holding on the offense, so it wouldn't have even counted even if it was complete.
Oh, well, okay.
but still, like in theory, yeah, it was open. It just was. I'm pretty confident that from what I remember, there was a penalty. Yeah, Titus Howard got called for holding too, so it wouldn't have counted either way. But it's just a bad throw, right? Nico's open, right here.
My God, Titus tackled him. Okay. Anyways, as you can see,
if you get this ball here, I'll pause it when he throws it
towards the sideline. It's a simple missed throw.
Yeah.
Also, from where he's releasing the ball, it doesn't look very comfortable.
No. Well, if you want to watch, this is kind of what I'm talking about, where it's just, and it's a bad throw too. It's hard to play quarterback like this when you watch the pocket, right? Okay, there's a hold there. You get who's that? Juice gets beat cross-face. There's a guy right there. Well, first of all, you have 3 guys trying to block this one guy, and he still kind of gets there. So you have to step up here. There's a hold here. You step up again. And then even when you step up there, this is not a bad pocket here, but you still got this guy in your face because you have to step up. Good job by, I think that's Tunsil.
Yeah.
It looks like Tunsil to me. Great job by him, right? Like, it's a really good pass protection rep. But it's hard to play quarterback in a pocket like this. You're having to step up 1, 2, and then, like I said, it's just a bad throw.
Yeah, and that's another example of like, okay, let's talk to CJ and see what he's comfortable with because, like you said, that's a very like kind of cloudy design there. I would say that CJ probably should have stepped up and to the left a little bit more, but other than that, like it's just hard to move around all of that stuff, and I just think that's a little bit too uncomfortable. So if you want to be a good coach, you need to ask your players what they're comfortable with, and then build off of that. This is a great example of that. He's just not comfortable here, and you can tell he's not comfortable because he missed a wide open receiver.
Yeah. And you can see why he's not comfortable when you watch the pocket. It's not like necessarily he had to avoid a sack, but it's just a very muddy pocket. You know, like if Titus doesn't hold, that's a sack. And like I said, what the hell is going on with the pullers? Like, why is there 3 guys here? I don't understand why there's so many guys. Because, you know, maybe if, and granted, like the ball maybe goes to Nico either way, but also like where's like the check down option? Stover eventually gets out there, but you're just like, there's three guys have to. Well, also, why the hell is Shaq Mason still pulling? I mean, if there's not 2 guys over here, Shaq Mason's giving up a sack, and I guess maybe that's why you're pulling that there's 2 guys. But why is Shaq Mason pulling to begin with? I don't know. I'd rather see, and you know, we can talk about Juice Scruggs, and he's not, you know, he's had bad moments, but why is he not pull blocking? He's a pretty athletic guard. He should be the one pull blocking, if anything. And it'd be weird in that spot.
Because we've seen that Mason is like almost kind of hesitant, unwilling to just go lay someone out as a pull blocker. We see him kind of keeping and slow playing. Like, what are we slow playing for? And again, that could be a detail in the offense that just needs to be taken out.
Yeah.
Or it could be the person. Because I don't see Slowick slamming his headset after plays. Maybe maybe in reality he's like, oh, I shouldn't have added that detail in. I shouldn't have.
Well, and honestly, like at this point in the season, you know, I was talking about this with my dad, just kind of discussing what the hell is going on. And it's like at this point in the season for the Texans, like let's just try some stuff, right? Like, you know, like I said, like let's go to like the wide splits they did against Dallas. Like let's just start trying different things because I don't think they're gonna win really anything this year anyway. So like going into next year, let's see what the hell works. Like you said, talk with Stroud, see what you want to do passing wise, and then let's figure some stuff out. Like Jacksonville's an easy game to go in there, and you got your bye the week after. That's an easy game to go in there. Like honestly, if they lose to Jacksonville, but they figure some stuff out offensively, I don't really care at this point in the season. It sucks, but
that's
like
the thing. It's like we're not expecting wins anymore.
No,
we're not.
no.
I understand we're probably favored by a lot.
Yeah.
What have we done to deserve to expect a guaranteed win? Absolutely nothing.
No. And so, like, let's go out and against Jacksonville. Let's just try stuff offensively. Like, let's do different things than we've done all year, okay? And then you go into your bye, and then after that, you got your 3 games of, like, if you want to prove anything down the stretch of the year, take 2 of them, right? And I don't think they're going to take 2 of them, but if you want to have some excitement going into the playoffs, you got to take 2 of those 3 games against Miami. Who they play? Miami, Kansas City, and Baltimore. Take 2 of those games, and I feel a lot better about you, but I don't have any confidence they're going to do that. But like you said, like, let's go into this week and let's see let's just try different things. Let's try different stuff.
Another thing I think we should also go over is the touchdown to Westbrook Akina or whatever his name is.
Okay.
The big and go, because I don't know if you heard it, but apparently Steven Nelson kind of leaked the Texans' defensive scheme. And I think he's absolutely right. I'll just kind of go over a little bit here. So Texans are in cover 4, and then Eric Murray, he's gonna be flat-footed. See how he's flat-footed?
Yeah.
Or try to go when he's like does the fake dig. If you can go to like where he fakes the in cut.
Okay, here, let me go back a little bit.
Yeah, so he's flat-footed. So right there, he's flat-footed.
Yeah.
And basically what Steven Nelson said, I wish I knew where the pen was, but it's not really important right now. That Stingley is the one who takes the vertical, and Murray has a trigger on an in-breaker.
Okay.
And this was in the scheme the past 2 years, apparently.
Oh God,
What Steven Nelson said. So basically, you're requiring Stingley, great athlete, to basically be in man coverage. He said they treat it as a cover 0 out of cover 4, which I've never heard of before. We played cover 4. I was a deep safety, deep quarter safety. We played cover 4 as our base coverage. Never heard of this in my life. But basically, Stingley takes the vertical, and Murray takes the in-breaker. So do you remember the interception? I think it was the Cardinals game where Stingley was.
It was the Denver game.
Sorry, yeah, Denver.
Yeah.
They ran a dig and go, and Stingley.
And he went and picked it.
And everyone was like, "Petrie, you suck. Petrie, you suck." Petrie was told to trigger on the in-breaker, and Stingley was required to make that play. So what they did is they had Westbrook Akeenan, whatever his name is, scoot a little bit in so that Stingley couldn't trail, and they knew that Murray would trigger on the dig. So they got completely exploited on that play.
Yeah, okay.
And basically what this means is that Murray is going to have to trigger on an in-breaker on like a dagger concept, and Stingley's going to have to take the post and whatnot. They are asking a lot out of Derek Stingley that we didn't know about, and they're asking not much out of Eric Murray, essentially. But the Titans exploited that.
I'm gonna throw my opinion out here. I hate that.
Yeah, I hate that too. I played cover 4 too, and
really stupid.
I never did that.
Yeah, if you're gonna expect like when you see this, and Stingley probably maybe should get back.
How
expect that play to be made, and what the hell? And I can kind of see. I think when you said that, because I heard that Nelson was talking on Spaces and stuff, but I didn't join any of them. It's pretty interesting to me that because it feels like all year safeties have bit on the double moves.
Mm-hmm. They're allowed to.
It's pretty interesting and pretty stupid to me. I don't know. That just seems like you're asking way too much out of your corner to be able to make that play.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, but, I mean, they Stingley I get, but I can't even imagine what would happen if they ran it to Lassiter's side.
Oh God.
Lassiter ran did they know Lassiter ran a 4.6? Did they know that? Because that's when his 40 time will actually show up. That's not short area quickness. That's deep speed. I can't even imagine what would happen if Lassiter was put in that spot. Oh my God! And look, this is the same thing as what I was talking about the Titans' defensive strategies. What if an offense did that every single play? What if they found a way to exploit that? Because there's ways. There is ways to just constantly game plan at least 5 to 10 of those plays. Put in the script. Put it on your call sheet. There are ways to implement that. And the Texans got to be careful. And I know what you said about D'Amico Ryans.
I look. And I'm sure I knew you were going to get to that at some point. I don't think he's a young
head coach. He is a young head coach with it. And my favorite tweet this week I saw is that the problem with the Texans is they have a young head coach with young coordinators and young staff members, and they're all figuring it out together. It's true. They're learning the hard way. It's as simple as that. They're just learning it the hard way. Now, I'm a little concerned about the defensive scheme being that way. That's really weird. And then the offense constantly running wide zone and toss and cutting back all the time. That's concerning. So hopefully we see a little bit less of that, a little more cover 3 as well throughout the season with just Bullock at the top, especially if Petrie is going to be out for multiple weeks. Just keep Bullock at the top. roll
Yeah,
Ward
it looks
down,
like today
roll
Ward
Murray
actually with
down.
the nickel, so he'll probably be the new nickel,
Ward's going
which
to be
he's
the
a pretty good.
nickel.
So
I don't think Devin White had a good game.
yeah, I didn't
And
think so either. He graded out really well, but when I was watching, he didn't seem to do. He didn't seem to play
I
well.
don't think they're going to run.
Owen did not have a good game either. Neither linebacker, neither of them were very good.
No, so I think you're gonna have to run a lot of nickel. I think you're gonna have to run a lot more cover 3 because you got exploited, and you don't want that stuff to happen again.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that because a lot of people they blame Derek Murray for that play, but also Derek Stingley shouldn't be in that spot, and you shouldn't really take Murray out of that spot as someone who played safety. Like I would just kind of think that's objectively a little bit weird. That you would want me to just constantly have me being flat-footed instead of me actually trying to be an actual safety and get to flip my hips and take away verticals. Like you're a safety. You're the last line of defense. That's where you're just trying to get your Derek Stingley. He's super athletic and make plays. It's a whole mess. I don't think Domingo's a bad head coach. Obviously, it would be fun to have a different, offensive-minded head coach as Texans head coach.
Yeah.
But, obviously, if we had Kevin O'Connell,
I'll get into the D'Amico thing that I've been talking about because, usually I was critical of him last year too. And granted, like he is still a young head coach. This could get better. But my biggest issue that I see with him every week is so if you want to talk about great defense, right? Great defensive coordinator, and that's always going to be true. But I think there's not been many head coaching decisions that he's made that I think have been very good.
I don't think there've been any that have been detrimental. Like, do you remember the David Coley season?
No, okay. No, that's true. No, and I'm necessarily they're obviously. I'm not saying he's the worst head coach in football. Like there's definitely
David
worse.
Coley team was good. The Lovie Smith team was bad, and this team is just underperforming. I thought the David Coley team was actually really good, but Coley, his decision making actually genuinely lost the Texans games. They should have had
good. That team was decent with
7 wins at the very least.
Yeah, they were better. They were actually a pretty decent team when Tyrod was playing for the most part. Tyrod early in the season especially was pretty good. Like that Cleveland game.
In the Seahawks game, they lost that. They didn't beat the Colts.
Yeah.
The overtime game, that was just stupid.
The Patriots
game, they played good in that. They definitely played good in that game.
Yeah. But no, my biggest issue with D'Amico has just been, I think, so first of all, the Slowick hire, I mean, at this point, I'm not too optimistic about it. Maybe he'll turn it around, but I don't know. I think there's been, I talked about it here, they've been one of the most penalized teams in football the 2 years that he's been here, which I think at some point does fall at the feet of the head coach, especially when there's a lot of dumb penalties. There's a lot of, we talked about it last week. That's why I was so pissed with Derek Barnett, because it's nonstop with these dumb penalties. It happened again this week where,
do you think the Ravens, or do you think John Harbaugh is a bad head coach? Because they are the most penalized team.
That was interesting when I saw that. And honestly, I've never been the biggest Harbaugh fan. But that was weird to me when I saw that. I was shocked when I saw that because
me too. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, like
you gotta chill.
And granted, I don't know if that's a recurring theme with Baltimore, if it's a 1-year thing, but that's weird to me. I don't think John Harbaugh is a great coach, but I think he's better than that shows.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it kind of falls at the feet of Monken, which there's even on Monday night they had the illegal formation that Belichick called out where you could see it before the play, which it's kind of similar with the Texans have going on with Slowick. So it just kind of depends. But I also think Monken's a pretty good offensive coordinator, and I don't think Slowick's a very good offensive coordinator. So maybe you can kind of pass it off.
And then how many false starts we have? You think that's D'Amico's fault? Tunsil's been doing that.
We have the second most here. There was actually, let's see, team penalties. There's somehow they're not first in penalties, or not first in false starts. So
I would say it's probably not that many defensive
they're
penalties.
third. They're third
Right.
in false starts. Here, I actually don't know what they stand for, a lot of them. So they are, I want to say their number, like they're at the top in unnecessary roughness penalties.
Honestly, I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate it either.
My team is
They're
person.
third. What the hell is other penalties? I
So
don't know.
one of the unnecessary roughness penalties is Steven Sims slapping someone in the head. So
Again, should have been cut after that game.
Yeah. But that's a personal thing. That's not D'Amico's fault. That is something.
No. I don't necessarily have. They lead the league in defensive holdings. But I don't necessarily have an issue with more so to me, after Sims did that, D'Amico should have just cut him immediately. Like, just send him home. So that was my issue with that.
After that,
I just with the penalties, it's not necessarily that I think a lot of them are D'Amico's fault, but I think at some point it's like you gotta send a message here, even with just one guy. Like, Sims was the perfect example to do it with, where everyone was picking up penalties. And I'm not necessarily saying that Laramie Tunsil's going to give a shit that you cut Steven Sims, but the idea behind it is like, just cut him, because he's a healthy and active now anyways. You should have just cut him after the game, and then, you know, maybe it sends a message of like, we're not putting up with that bullshit penalties, because he also dropped a punt in that game that led to 7 points. Yeah, and then, you know, I don't know how you feel. I don't know how people feel about this, but they also track when you should go for it and when you should not go for it. They're near the bottom. Hey, so this is what I'm talking about. Ryan Grubb, Mike McDonald, good head coaches, or good coaches. I like the Seahawks staff a lot. I've talked about this. I'm a big fan of their staff. But, I mean, there's also some good coaches at the bottom here, like LaFleur. I think LaFleur's a good head coach, and he's near the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Ravens there too. Like,
yeah, which, again, I'm not the biggest hardball fan, but the Ravens have always kind of been near the bottom, which is the weird part is that the Packers were at the top last year, and now they're at the bottom. So it's just been a bizarre year.
Yeah, just kind of situational.
Yeah.
And also, like, that thing can really have to do with players that you have, your personnel.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Texans are so bad at short yardage.
And if you think we should, okay, watch this and watch the success rate. It's not going to be good.
Yeah,
that's half of it right there.
Well, okay, like, we can talk about the situational stuff, because, you know, maybe on that there was a 4th or 3rd and 1 in this game.
Yeah, they weren't going to convert on 4th down.
And they shouldn't have, I don't necessarily think they should have gone for it. The 3rd and 1 play call was stupid, because why are you running it right at Jeffrey Simmons in that type of situation? But also, if we're going to take a 5-yard penalty anyways, like, why not try to get to the line and try to draw them off sides? Because we took a penalty and then just punted. I don't really understand that. That's just the basic stuff where, like, that to me either falls on Slowick or it falls on D'Amico or someone, because at least, like, to me it looked like Stroud was trying to get a play call in, because they showed him he's trying to get the play call, and they clearly wasn't communicated to him, or he didn't hear it, or something went wrong.
Aaron Rodgers wouldn't hesitate to go up to the line and start barking and trying to drop.
And maybe it's a thing where honestly, maybe they should give Stroud a little bit more leeway at the line of scrimmage, which I wouldn't hate, but I know Shanahan guys don't really believe in that. Like, I would rather have Stroud call up the protections than the offensive line at this point, but it's not going to happen. But I think, to me, the biggest thing with that situation is like, somebody's got to get a play in. Like let's just, even if you're not actually going to sneak it, just get under center, like get in like the tush push formation and just hard count. Because you took a 5-yard penalty either way, but you didn't even give a shot. Because a lot of times on those QB sneaks, you do get them to jump, because a lot of times you can't really stop those unless you time it perfectly. So I just don't understand why you're not trying to do that, at least. And then this one here, this is the last play we'll go over. Then we'll do the mailbox stuff. This one was so frustrating to me, because if you don't just completely whiff, like, what is Juice Scruggs doing here? I get he gets fooled by the blitz.
Sweat drops.
Yeah, he gets fooled by the blitz, but he doesn't even keep his eyes up. There's too much of, like, Juice Scruggs does this a lot, though, where, like, he doesn't even keep his eyes in the right spot.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed when he was playing center, is that
Yeah, like he gets
with the
fooled by
stunts is that he
type of thing
wasn't
way
being
too often.
aware of what was coming, and also he wasn't thinking ahead of where the other guy could be coming next. So he obviously, as you see here, should have been looking to the left, but he's looking up and to the right. So he's not remembering
Yeah,
how many people were on the line of scrimmage, who could have came, who could have dropped, and what the next best move would have been. So it's really a processing thing there.
yeah. Because I get this is a weird disguise by Tennessee. I mean, it's a good play call. You get Simmons and Sweat dropping out. Like you wouldn't have thought that was going to happen.
No.
But also, they do get 5, and everybody else does a decent job. But Juice, even like you can even see Patterson, he's kind of like shocked. He's like surprised that he doesn't, because there's nowhere for him to go. He like Juice just takes his guy and then he goes to help Mason, but like there's nobody that even Juice never even sees this guy. Like there's no vision on that guy
in
whatsoever.
Patterson's mind, he's probably like, "What are you doing here? You should have been over there." Like, and even Patterson probably knew it. He probably knew is, oh man,
Because we could talk about it. It's Zig here to Schultz. I don't think Jeffrey Simmons is going to get out there and cover that. If there's even any protection, you can get it out there. He's wide open. Because to me, Dan Orlowski talked about it, and maybe, and I don't necessarily, I don't know how I feel about it, but he was talking about how in this type of play, Stroud, as soon as he's seen the pressure, should have just floated this ball to Nico in the corner.
yeah.
Which I don't necessarily disagree with, but also I don't necessarily know if
As a quarterback, that's probably like Dan Orlowski. You can make all the jokes about him you want, but he's an NFL quarterback, and I see quarterbacks just kind of loft balls when they get a heavy blitz at him, but CJ's trying to create. And that's just kind of what he does.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have had an issue with that throw here, but also this is pretty tough because if he would have thrown this ball probably right now, right?
Off his back foot.
Yeah. And there's just the problem is that nobody even touches the guy. Like he's going to get lit up if he throws that ball. And then, it's not like it necessarily gets wide open. Like there's separation there, but if that's not a good throw, it's probably picked. And that's the last thing that you can have in that situation because I know Fairbairn missed, but you can't turn the ball over in that spot because 99% of the time Fairbairn hits that kick, it's a tie game. You just can't turn the ball over in that situation. So I can understand that. But honestly, it's a really good call with a Titans defensive coordinator, but Juice just has to have better vision. He does this a lot where he just gets like tunnel vision as soon as a blitz or something awkward gets thrown at him. Like I said, he doesn't even look because like Tunsil tries to kind of like, you can see Tunsil get an arm there. He tries to if Juice was even looking, you would see that Tunsil gets the arm here to kind of like help Juice slow the guy down on the blitz, but he's not even looking. He's looking he's looking to go help Patterson. I don't know. Because you would think pre-snap, it's not like this guy necessarily fooled anybody. He's lying. He's right at the line here.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Would think
he should have got in his head about, okay, he dropped. Where's my next best move? Where do I need to help?
Because even if you're just looking at it because I think this corner ends up coming. But if you even just look at it like this, you have 3 over here, and then you have a potential 3 here. There's no reason for Juice to be going the other way when you have 3 guys that could potentially be blitzing. There's no reason for him to not look that way, at least. At least look.
Yeah.
Because the numbers here. And granted, it's a weird blitz, but you can see that it's man, right? Just by how the corners are playing it, you can see it's a man blitz.
Yeah.
So that you have a numbers disadvantage, but really you don't have a numbers disadvantage because they drop. You have the numbers fine because, the corner ends up coming. Titus does a good job coming off and picking him up, but Juice never even looks. But like I said, the numbers here. At this point, Patterson, I'm sure he called out a certain blitz because Juice eventually, he does look this way. I think his assignment is originally Sweat here, but once Sweat drops, he doesn't even look. So it's just frustrating.
Frustrating, and I would call that benchable.
I do, yeah. Because look, it's not like it's a one-time mistake. There's a lot of Juice Scruggs having. I called him in this tweet. I said he had the IQ of a rock.
You did.
Because he does.
You did.
He does. I mean, if you watch the film, and someone got mad. I don't know where the reply is. Hold on.
Someone said that you should tag him, and then he tagged him, but
which I mean that's fine.
I don't see Juice Scruggs in your mentions.
No. And look, if he wants
knows?
to come in my mentions and defend himself and be
I'd
my
love to hear
guest,
it.
but I could pull up 10 clips of him not looking at blitzes this year. And I'm not necessarily saying that I could do it, but you're getting paid to do it, dude. And you're not doing it, so I'm gonna be critical of you. That's just how it is. Look, maybe that was a little bit mean. Maybe I should have been nicer.
Yeah.
But it's just frustrating because it's just nonstop with the stupid stuff from, and that's what's so frustrating to Juice was Juice. I think Texans Thoughts quote tweeted this about the miss. Yeah. And I replied, and it's 100% what I and I stand on this, right? It's a lot harder for me to bench Scruggs, and I think it probably should be done, but it's a lot harder for me because when he's playing one-on-one, there's bad reps, obviously, but overall, it's not horrible. Like, he has good reps. It's much better than Kenyon when it's just straight up one-on-one. Like, he finds the guy. It's just a straight, like, he's just blocking the defensive tackle. We know it's coming. It's a lot better than Kenyon, but his awareness is so bad.
Let's also not forget that Kendrick Green is healthy.
Yeah.
And is also an option and was also clearly a positive in the run game moments in which he was in.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and he was, you know what? He was trying. He was trying in the past game.
And he showed up. So it's one of those situations. You want to talk about
I would go to Kendrick.
But I would, it can't get much worse.
No, if you want to go, let's see. Let's go. Let's pull up another PFF.
You just had to pull up PFF. Great.
I actually am kind of curious what the blocking grades look like because Juice's is actually decent from what I remember, which I think is crazy, but 64 is way too high. But you know what's actually crazy? I posted this too. But if you want to go, hold on, give me a second. This was so funny to me. I couldn't stop laughing about this. So if you want to go by guard sacks here, number 1 is Shaq Mason. Tied for second is Kenyon Green.
Oh, my God.
If you want to go by pressures, Shaq Mason's second, Kenyon Green is third. True pass block set, Kenyon is second worst. It's crazy that Kenyon Green hasn't played in like 5 weeks or 4 weeks, and he's still this high. It's really bad. It's really bad. And then tackle wise, I think Titus is up there with pressures, if I'm not wrong. 5th. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not great. Even though I will say, grading wise, Titus has not been that bad. I don't think Titus has necessarily been awful.
I don't think Titus not at all.
I don't think he's been terrible, but it's not great either. It's not like lockdown tackle performance.
I really wonder if they asked him to move to guard and he just said nah. He just said nah.
Maybe.
They're like,
he's not a very good guard. I feel like we've seen that before, but
because he said no on social media when he was on social media, of course.
Yeah.
He said he was willing to play tackle.
I don't know if that fixes a lot of the issues. Maybe it does, but I don't know. Jaret Patterson's been really good. If we can get to him though, he's been really good for this team. He's not played that many reps. Hold on. He's 12th pass blocking grade. 5 pressures and I think 5 games. He's played really well for this team. I've been a Jaret Patterson fan for a while now. I think he's a good player. I don't think honestly. I will say I think he's more of a guard. I've thought this for a while. I think he's
if he's playing with a good center.
Yeah, no, he can't play. He can't play center for this team. But I think long term it would be awesome if they could get a center and then slide him to guard and then sign a guard in free agency or draft a guard in free agency or free agency in the draft. And that could be your line because I do think run blocking wise, he's not a very good run blocking center. He's just more of a finesse guy, but he's clearly the best pass protecting center on this team. So he's going to play, which I have no issue with, but long term, it would be nice.
I will say, I think the more important thing the Texans do actually might just be getting rid of Shaq Mason. If you keep Shaq Mason, it sends the wrong message if you keep him.
He has to go. I don't care what the contract situation is. He has to go. There is no way you can keep that guy moving forward.
Exactly.
He is brutal. And he's way overpaid. Yeah, he has to go. This is what I was talking about with Devin White. I don't know how the hell he got – it felt like he was taking really bad angles a lot of the time.
Yeah. I don't think PFF understood what its responsibility was.
Yeah, they don't understand the responsibilities of our defensive tackles ever. They hate our defensive tackles, and I feel like they played well. But I've talked about it. I think it's because our defensive tackles all the time, they're more so they just shoot gaps more than they're playing a certain gap. They're just let's just get in the backfield, and so they do give up certain gaps, but then they get filled by linebackers. It's just how they play. But PFF just absolutely dunks on our linebackers consistently. So, or not our linebackers.
And then they gave Jimmy Ward a 90 coverage grade. Does that mean he was perfect outside of his blunder?
Yeah, they gave him – the pick definitely helped him a lot. But he played – I thought Ward played a pretty good game overall. I know he had the one –
Yeah, my thing is, again, he's not a deep safety.
No.
So let's get him out of that spot. You have a deep safety. You need to play more coverage.
That's a piss poor grade from him, man. They've been rough on him this year for the most part.
All right, mailbox time.
Let's go. Let's get into it.
I think we got Cal.
Yep, Cal's consistent mailbox guy. We respect Cal.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I posted this one a little bit late. I didn't wake up today till 12, so it's kind of my fault.
My God.
I was out, man. I was tired.
You didn't have fun last night or something?
No, I've just been I was up watching the Rockets last night.
Fair.
And then it just got late. I was watching some movie, got to 12, and then and then it's at that point you're already up. So it's I'm on break, so I got nothing going on here.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna take my time here. I'm more of a night person. I don't really like mornings. So.
There you go.
All right. Thoughts from Cal said our ceiling is a wild card at this point. Defenses not only have our pass game solved, but the word is out about how to stop Mixon now. Hopefully a Dayball Stefanski type can come in next year and fix the O. Sloak is awful, and I can't believe the negligible. I think that's of adjusting. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. But the talent of this team is still absurd. Stingley, Hunter, Anderson, Collins have been all pro caliber players for us. Every major position group is set for the future, which raises the floor tremendously. Realistically, all you have to do in March is address safety and right guard.
Yeah, I can't believe we've gone this entire episode without talking about the fact that they had 7 sacks in the first half and lost.
Yeah.
They've lost games.
That doesn't happen a lot, but I also think the reason in the first half they were losing was because the defense was not playing well.
Yes.
So even though they had the sacks, they just weren't playing very well. I actually have a screenshot. Hold on. We can go back to this, but I posted a screenshot. I think it was the first or second quarter of the Titans EPA per play. It was ridiculous how well they were playing. And this is during the sacks, because sacks kill EPA. They're really bad. That's why the Texans EPA has been really bad for a lot of the year. I mean,
yeah. One thing
what is going on here?
They had a good game plan. Like Callahan did his job with the run game design. They also took advantage of the Texans' zone coverage, and so they were efficient. It was just genuinely efficient.
To me, honestly, the Titans kind of handed. If you watch the film, if D'Amico and Sloak watch the film from this Titans game, the Titans kind of handed you a script of how to play through the pressure. And granted, part of it is because they can run the ball, but also they kind of handed you an idea of they ran a lot of these boots where you get outside, you can cut block, you slide block one way, and you just boot out the other way. And then Stroud just gets enough depth. There'll be a guy there, but you can get these guys from these crossers. You can especially in this game, they just put Ridley in the nickel once Petrie was out and just had him run these crossers, and he's just faster than their nickel.
I will say, Cal, you have a great point here. We didn't talk about this yet. We didn't show the film yet. The defenses do have the word out on how to stop Mixon now. If we want to go to my clip of the cutback.
Yeah, let's find that. And also, I also want to add to Cal when he's talking about the offensive line. Let's also throw it's not just right guard. Let's also throw left guard in there because if you Scruggs starting at left guard next year, I'm not going to do anything about it.
This is just on a toss play, but basically Patterson wants to block the guy, wants to go outside, but Baker is like, I don't care. You can block me outside. I want to go inside because I want to block up the cutback lane, and then the edge. I think.
Looks like Sweat.
Right no, but I'm talking about the edge guy.
Right here.
Martin Key took a super wide outside contain angle because he wants to force it back inside. And guess what? They have a guy waiting to cut it back inside. And I didn't get to watch the whole film, but I was told or read online that they did this every single run play.
Yep.
And it is just it's perfect execution by the Titans defense.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you want to get into this with the coaching staff, the Texans got outcoached.
They got that 100% got outcoached. Absolutely.
How they Callahan had an awesome game plan offensively, and I forget who their defensive coordinator is. I know he's been really good. So, but I just can't remember what his name is. But he had a awesome game plan too. This, like you said, this is a perfect. I mean, and this is what I think Seth Payne was talking about. This exact thing with the cutbacks.
Yeah.
But like a lot of times, you can't tell if the Texans are running outside or inside zone with how they're blocking them because the Titans are just completely like they're just playing they're just not letting the cutback happen. You're not cutting back. And they executed it perfectly. The Texans just got out coached in this game. Because the Texans are clearly a more talented team, and Will Levis made his classic mistake, right? Like you saw it happen. He made his classic mistake. And honestly, when you look at it, yes, the turnovers from Stroud recently have been a problem, but the Texans are like top 10 in turnover differential. That's not really been the issue. They don't turn the ball over that much, and they force a lot of turnovers on defense.
Yeah, but the sad part is like that's literally like Nick Caserio said this when he was hired. Like he wants his teams to be top 10 in turnover differential. They are.
Yeah,
they are, but they're not winning. So what is that? How does that make Nick feel? He's probably very frustrated with the coaching staff.
I think and I'm sure Nick is because also granted, I do think part of the offensive line is just a skill issue, but it's also schematic to me. There's schematic issues on the offensive line, and maybe that's not Slowick, but it's Strasser, and I don't know, but there's just like so many basic things that the offensive line doesn't do. Like we talk about Shaq Mason, a lot of it's not even being watched. He just does stupid things, like very stupid things consistently. And to me, that's more an indictment on the coaching staff than it is on like Shaq Mason being washed or anything like that. So I just don't understand. This is
why 49 gets there. I mean, he was just like, all right, try to go outside.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we have something for you inside too. I mean, perfect execution. And then trying to
he's basically standing where Stover is trying to block him too.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, you can block me, but I'm already here. So Stover's like, what the hell do I do here?
It's like, nothing you can do. I would say the one thing I would say is schematically, I would probably just have Schultz or Quatoriano block 49 and then let Stover lead block into space. Yeah. That's probably something okay, you know what? I don't trust this team to adjust. That's probably something they should do, but I'm not exactly sure that's going to happen. Again, this is just trying something new, trying a different way to run toss. I think that'd be effective. If you really want to run toss, run it without a fullback too, out of under center as well. Like, there's ways to like continue that schematic.
And you know what? I'm actually happy for once that they ran toss to the wide side of the field because it feels like they always run to the short side.
You know, so I have my thing about slants, all slants. Running a sprint or a toss to the boundary is probably the most frustrating thing I've ever seen.
It's so stupid.
It's funny. It's not just the Texans that do it.
Oh, no. It's not just like, dude, okay. Look, this is a mini rant. It's not even about the Texans, okay? But I got my A&M shirt on. In overtime, right? I I was talking to my dad because we were frustrated that the A&M kept going under center and just running because they couldn't really Auburn's run defense was really good coming into the game. We knew that.
Yeah.
And Marcel Reed, you want to use his legs because he's a very quick quarterback. You want to get him moving outside. So I'm like, right, it was the third down. So Auburn had just kicked a field goal. So if we scored a touchdown, we won the game. It was like 3rd and 6. And I was like, at some point, I would like to see if you want to run the ball, let's go speed option or something. I'm not even joking. They ran speed option the next play to the short side of the field. Exactly. Why do you run that to the short side? And look, I actually think A&M's offensive coordinator is a very good coordinator. Like I've been super really positive with his play calling this year. I think he's been very good. But I just can't understand why you run it to the short side of the field. There's just no room for that. Because one defender could, if you get to the outside, one defender could take both guys at that point. Because if you pitch it, there's no room there. So like you said, it's not just a Slowick thing. A lot of coordinators do it. And they run those. I hate them. You know, like the sprint outs. Oh my God. Those are the stupidest play calls. I hate them. Even when you run to the wide side, I hate them. I just don't like, unless you have a bad quarterback, that's different. Because when you have a good quarterback, why are you cutting the field in half? I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it. The only time I like the sprint outs, you know what I'm talking about, where they sprint out and then you get like a tight end that kind of like fake blocks and then like leaks out the other way.
Yeah,
I like that type of stuff.
Throwback, sprint right,
throwback. Yeah. Because A&M ran that 3 years ago against Bama or something, and it worked. It's because nobody accounts for that. That type of stuff is good. That works. But when you run it to one side of the field and it's like just a 2-man route, I just don't understand it.
No, it's awful. All right. Yeah. Sorry, Cal, that we wasted your.
Oh yeah. Here we will go back to. One more thing. What the hell is Dalton Schultz doing?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
He sticks his arm out and he just doesn't block anybody.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? Like the effort from him and other guys is just so bad. He spends more time on Twitter than he does blocking.
That's embarrassing.
Let's go back to what Cal said.
It's just like, come on, do something.
Hey, shout out the Rockets though. Shout out the Rockets. They've been playing well. That game last night was pretty awesome. But okay, he's absolutely right about this. You have these guys playing at a really high level.
Defense.
I know
they got coached defensively, but they're talented.
Yeah. And I will say, I know I've called Stingley Mr. Lucky. I don't necessarily think he's played at an all-pro level, but he's a really, really good corner. Like, there's no doubt about that. And Lassiter's been awesome, like Bullock's played well. Like, there's a lot of talent defensively and even offensively. Like, Stroud has not been an all-pro caliber player, but can he be an all-pro caliber player? Absolutely. I mean, Joe Mixon's been an all-pro caliber player with a bad offensive line. So the talent is there. The problem is that, you get dominated on the trenches offensively every week, whether it's the pass protection or the run game, you're getting dominated somewhere. It feels like. And then what are the other issues that you have? I mean, safety, I don't think safety's been awful this year for the most part. And, I think
like we said, D'Amico's kind of trying to limit what they have to do, I feel.
And then, that
is safety and a D'Amico Ryan's defense.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that still. I honestly, if Nelson said that, which I don't think he would lie about that, so I don't know why he would, but that just seems really stupid to me. You're just asking a lot for a corner. Like you said, if they run that to Lassiter side, it's just a free touchdown. I mean,
exactly.
And I'm sure teams are going to watch the Tennessee film and just do the exact same things that they did to us.
That's the concern. I mean, just rinse and repeat. That's what I was saying about the blitzes and the stunts. I hope teams do that because that is how you beat the Texans. It's just objectively true. I want to see if the Texans can adjust to that. They didn't adjust in the second half. Haven't adjusted anything in the second half.
No.
All season.
No, I mean, if you want to look, where was it? I posted. It was just coming out of half because I've thought this for a while. You can there's obviously certain things that go into it, but I think a good way to tell how a good coach or good coaching staff adjusts is just out of half, right? Like You come out of half. If you play really well out of half, then I think that's a sign of a good coaching staff. So here you go, right? Texans offense 14th in EPA per play in the first half, and then they go to 29th in the third quarter. Defensively, you go from 2nd to 14th. I don't know how it carries over. We can actually look. I don't necessarily know how it carries over for the entire second half. That was just third quarters. But if you want to go,
second in EPA, first half is just really, really, really good. That's great. That's exactly what we would expect.
And that's considering the fact that the Titans lit them up in the first half. Offensively, in the second half, you are so they are 28th in EPA per play offensively in the second half of games. And then defensively, they are 9th. So they get better in the fourth quarter defensively, but still there's a drop-off, right? It's still not as good as they are in the first half. Yeah. I wonder, has it changed since? Maybe it has changed after the Tennessee game. Let's check. I don't think it has. Nope. Second offensively, or second defensively. I wish they were second offensively. And then offensively, there's 14th. So good first half team, bad second half team. I mean, that's just, and that again goes.
They're going to be winning either one of the Chiefs or Ravens games at halftime. It's going to be close at halftime.
And if you look at their drop back EPA, they're 9th in the first half of games. Like they throw the ball really well in the first half of games for the most part. And even in the second, the problem is, so if we go second half, I want to say the issue is the early down offense for the most part. Third downs are still not a tier. So if you go, so even like I said, the drop back offense, it falls off a cliff in the second half. They're actually a better running team in the second half, which is funny. What are they rushing wise? I mean, 28th. Like they're just bad at both. In the second and the early downs, but like if you go third down, I wonder where they are. Probably not as high as you would like, but still they're 25th. So like their offense just goes stale. And a lot of it is, especially in the second half of games, they're leading and they try to just run the clock out, right? Like they're trying to just melt clock. They can't do it though. No. They cannot sustain drive just running.
We know the offensive line will not be able to control the game, will not be able to control the line of scrimmage, and the defense can be preventative at times just because of the aspect. It's a modern NFL offense. They can find ways to exploit cover 3 and cover 4. It's just going to happen, but you have to be more aggressive. You have to keep your foot on the gas. But I just don't think the team, the personnel they have, is capable of that right now. At the same time, the schematics, like, it's just everything. It's really just everything.
There you go. Bobby Slowick said they did their worst job on the run game this last week. Said he did a bad job. They didn't block linebackers well enough. They need to dial in on that. I don't necessarily think this was the worst run blocking game of the year for them.
With that information. I mean, it feels like we've been watching bad.
Yeah, to me, this feels less bad than the Lions game. The Lions game was worse running the ball. I mean, like
it's still the same. They can't run the ball. They can't run the ball. Why are we still running the ball?
Yeah.
But obviously there's more carries in the Lions game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but at least they weren't running the ball on 3rd and 10 against the Lions or against the Titans, I guess. All right, there was one other mailbox. Let's see what that was. Okay, I want this crappy offensive line to take some responsibility and stick up for their quarterback. Stroud has struggled, but no way in hell should he be the sole blame for he take this one. Yeah,
he's not going to be the sole blame.
No, most people are blaming Stroud.
Yes, that's true. And then what did whatever Titus said in the press conference kind of steered people the wrong way, like essentially like not wanting to take accountability. I get that. Look, obviously you're going to blame the quarterback, but look, the offensive line has not performed. We know.
Yeah, well, and honestly, if you want to look at it like from the
the offensive line isn't blocking in the run game.
If you look at it even from the outside looking in, from like an offensive perspective, like people are starting to talk about it, or people have been talking about it, but you see like guys like, you get Theo Ash and these other guys like Benjamin Solak, who works for ESPN now.
Yeah.
Like, these guys have talked about the struggles, and for the most part, they are like very like honestly, Theo Ash, credit to him, he has been critical of Bobby Slowick from the beginning. Like he has never really liked Slowick, and he's kind of talking about it now, but I mean, there's just not much, just a bad offense. It's a broken offense.
Yeah, and I agree. This O-line does suck balls. That's the best way to put
You know,
it.
actually, what was his? Hold on. I actually am interested because I want to go to that Solak article that he wrote. It was actually a really good article that he wrote about. I know he posted about it. My guy Stressens, great account, by the way. I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably already follow him. But if you don't,
to know Houston Stressens. Gotta know.
Yep. Here, let's find where was the tweet at that he posted. I don't know where it is. Hold on. Maybe he deleted it. Let's see. Let's go find his Twitter then. There it is. Okay. Yeah, here we go. To this article, I should be logged into ESPN, I think, or maybe not. No, here we go. Oh well, may have to log in. Let's see. Am I not logged in? Okay, but basically, he was talking about how the Texans' offense. I mean, there's issues. Like it's not just the offensive line. Like Stroud hasn't been as good. But even in the thing, you can see what's wrong with C.J. Stroud. He said nothing really. Right? There's nothing really wrong with the guy. He was talking about in the article. He kind of did three different things. He said that overall Stroud just hasn't played as well. But he also talked about how there's just bad turnover luck, which I talked about. There's been just bad turnover luck. Like turnover worthy play rate is the exact same as last year, but people are catching them. And then he talked about the pass the pass protection, obviously. And he was talking about how there's only like 4 quarterbacks that have a 40+% pressure rate, and he's the only guy that out of that group that is like anywhere near the top. In like any statistics, like the only guy that isn't near the bottom in everything. So he's somehow making it somewhat work, which is what he basically talked about.
Right.
And then I think there was a couple other things that he put, but also like they lead the league in quick pressures by like a good like 20, I think is what he said. So it's not like really the issue.
I mean, like no other team has that problem.
No, and we can actually. I was talking about this the other day with people because, I think automatically you kind of go to when it's, when there's issues with the offensive line or there's a lot of pressures, a lot of sacks, it's kind of just natural to kind of look at the quarterback and see like if he's holding on to the ball for too long. That's not what's going on like at all. Go to, this one. So this is basically they track. So this is like the amount of drive extra pressure on. They track it by like the responsibility. He's, what is he? 21st in pressure, like pressures that are responsible to him. And he leads the league in being pressured. Like offensive line wise, they're 5th. Other, I don't even know what other stands for, but like, I think this is like tight end, number 1, left guard, number 1, right guard, number 9, which I'm shocked that they're that low on that list, to be honest with you. Right tackle, number 8. Like Tonsil's the only one that has them 27th. So
there you go.
I don't even know where they're at center wise. The center's actually 18. That's not too bad. But like even sack wise, they're like he's like 10th in sacks taken, but like percentage wise, it's actually pretty decent compared to most of the guys.
Right.
Yeah, like there's obviously certain guys that are really good at it, but overall, and Jordan Love is, I guess, at the bottom, but he's also just bad under pressure. Like you go to his stats, he sucks at throwing under pressure, or at least this year he's been bad.
Jordan Love catching strays.
2 big time throws to 6 turnover where he plays under pressure. Interesting. But nah. So there's a lot of issues offensively, and Stroud's been bad these last couple of weeks, but he's not the main issue with this offense. Like that's obvious. Right. Anything else you want to add? I feel like this was actually a really long episode.
Yeah, it was.
This was needed though. This was.
I agree. This was definitely needed. They respect
after
his
how
kind of
these
set.
last couple games have gone, man. This was
Can it
needed.
get worse? I don't think it can get worse.
No, I don't think it can.
I don't go into a game thinking like, Texans should win this. No.
Next week is the only game that's left on their schedule that they probably should win. But even then, it's like if they lose, I wouldn't be
comfortable
shocked.
saying that.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah. Well, shit. If they actually fired Doug Peterson, I would be chalking up a loss right now. You get interim head coach bounce. I'd be chalking up the loss.
That works. Yeah, exactly.
But he's still a head coach. So, but with Trevor Lawrence playing, Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. Like, people disrespected him, but he is a good quarterback. Him and Stroud statistically have basically had the exact same year for the most part. So, you're gonna.
That'd be fun. Let's get.
That would be really fun. I would love to see it. I thought we were coming for it this week. We scored the first play offensively, and then I don't know what the hell we did the rest of the game. Shout out Dameon Pierce, though. Shout out Dameon Pierce. That's your guy. Yeah. Shout out Dameon Pierce.
That was good to see.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then since we're on the topic of special teams, speaking of dumb mistakes, Dari's just letting the ball roll in the end zone, and then we're falling on punts. They just do so many dumb things on so many levels. It's so bad. I love Dare, but dude, you got to know the situation better than that. I ended up being okay, but it's like, man, you got to know that.
Oh man. Well, hopefully we never have to visualize or watch a game like that the rest of the season, rest of the D'Amico Ryans era.
Oh, and just to add to Cal's point, I don't necessarily think their ceiling is just a wild card game at this point. I think they could win one playoff game. I think they could win one because their defense is really awesome.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, unless their offense just magically turns it around, I don't think they're going to, though.
Yeah, I think that when you have talented players, they can win you playoff games. Yeah. As simple as that.
Agreed.
That's hope, and that's all we have to hope for.
Yeah, and hopefully Stroud figures it out after these last couple of games. We go into the playoffs because we know the dude can play, right? We know he's a top quarterback. He's not necessarily playing like it, but like I said, there's a lot of quarterbacks that go through years where they don't play like top quarterbacks, but it's just how you bounce back. Like Mahomes isn't playing like a top 10 quarterback right now, but everyone considers him because you can gain the respect if you do it consistently. So. That's just what you need to see from Stroud, the bounce back. Like I said, I think this week was overall good when you talk about the going up, bouncing back. And it wasn't a good week, but there was improvement because in that fourth quarter, those throws were some throws that he hasn't made. I haven't seen him make in a good 5 weeks. So that type of stuff. It was not a good week because the turnovers were bad, but overall it was better. Yeah. It was much better against a pretty good defense in Tennessee. So, there's improvement. Jacksonville's the worst pass defense in the league. So if there's ever a time to get your stats going, get some touchdowns, cut down the turnovers, this is your week. Yep. All right. We appreciate y'all for watching. Obviously a frustrating week, but we appreciate the support y'all have shown. And hopefully the Texans can kind of turn it around, have something to look forward to down the stretch of this year. If not, obviously off-season content. Free agency, draft type stuff. We were actually talking about maybe for free agency or something, doing a live stream on here, just kind of coming on, reacting to stuff. Because this offseason will be really important because there's certain positions that you got to fill, but overall, it's a good team. So it'll be an exciting offseason for sure, and hopefully an exciting end of the year. I mean, I'm holding out some hope that there's some excitement down the stretch of this year. But we appreciate y'all's support. Make sure y'all subscribe, and stay tuned. For the next one, we will see y'all next time.